What is your opinion on the modern prog scene?
Um, I've heard of Haken and I've heard of Black Midi. I don't know about the others. I think for me, I used to love Dream Theater, um, and like Aryan and stuff like that. That was sort of my gateway into prog, really. Prog metal was probably a gateway into just sort of like the other prog that's out there. But nowadays, I don't really listen to any prog metal. I don't listen to Dream Theater. I've not even listened to their new album, really. Not yet, anyway. I probably will give it a go. But no, I don't really listen to any prog metal. I've not listened to Haken at all, really. I've listened to some of Black Midi. I think some of that's quite cool. Um, I like. I like again I like it for how chaotic it can be at times. It's quite unpredictable. It's wild. So I do like some of the Black Midi stuff. But it's not all my cup of tea, really. Yeah. In fact, I don't really listen to much modern prog. Apart from Steven Wilson, he's probably the most modern one I listen to. I listen to Wobbler, but even though they're a modern prog band, they're very it's very 70s influence. It's very retro prog, which is why I like them. Uh, I think the keyboard player he released a new album recently, and I listened to that, and it was great. So that's about as modern as I really get with prog bands. I keep gravitating back towards the 70s stuff. I'm still just listening to the 70s stuff, still discovering more 70s stuff. But there seems to be quite a big market for the prog metal stuff, and it seems to be very popular. I mean, the Inside Out record label, they seem to release loads of prog metal. That just seems to basically be a prog metal label at the moment. So it seems to be very popular, which is great, you know. But I think I lost interest in metal generally, uh, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, but again, it's great that we all have different opinions on these things, um, and that some people really appreciate the prog metal stuff. I appreciate it for how incredibly complex it is, and how gritty and it rocks. It's great. But I think for me, it's not as expressive as just like regular prog rock. And especially the 70s stuff. The 70s stuff is just unbeatable. There's not a lot that I listen to that like modern prog that I listen to that I think, yeah, that's just as good or that rivals it, apart from Wobbler. I think. Um, but yeah, I'm very open to listening to lots of different music, and I do try and listen to as much as I can. And it's great that there's so much music out there that people are releasing. It's wonderful. It makes so many people happy, both artists and fans, and it's great that everyone has their own tastes and can listen to different things, um, and there's a band catering. There's a genre that's being done by there's no genre untouched, and it's great that there's so much music out there for people to digest and stuff. So yeah, while I'm not particularly into prog metal, I can certainly appreciate it.